Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this. I hope this finds you well. This is the Chapter 2 review. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is the distance formula. So it says calculate the distance between the points 5, -3 and point P, which is 9, -7 in the coordinate plane. So I've added the distance formula here. You will get the distance formula on the assessment. So let's just calculate the distance. First thing I'm going to do is label x1, y1. Pen's not, there we go. So x1, y1, and then x2, y2. And then I'm going to plug it into the formula. So I have 9 minus 5 squared plus -7 minus a -3 squared. That becomes 4 squared plus, so it's -7 minus a -3 becomes -7 plus 3, which is -4 squared. So this gives me 16 plus 16, which is the square root of 32. So it says give the exact answer, not a decimal approximation. So you want to think of a perfect square that goes into this. So we know that 16 times 2 will give us 32. So we can simplify this to 4 root 2 because the square root of 16 is 4. All right. On to the next one. This one says give the equation of a circle centered at the origin. So that means that the formula, again, I'll give you this. X minus 8 squared plus y minus k squared equals our radius squared. So if it's centered at the origin, that means that the center is here, which means that HK is 0, 0. And they want to know it goes through the point -2, 0. So we have to find the radius. So this is X and this is Y. So I'm going to say X is -2 minus H squared plus Y is 0 minus K squared equals my radius squared. So -2 squared is 4. 0 minus 0 is 0. This is going to give me my radius squared. So 4 plus 0 equals the radius squared. So to write the equation, you could write it as, I'll show the steps and then I'll show you the final result. So X minus H squared plus Y minus K squared equals my radius squared. So the simplified form of this would just be X squared plus Y squared equals 4. Okay? So whenever it says centered at the origin, you know that it's X squared plus Y squared. You just have to find the radius. This next one is asking us if the following represent a function. Remember, it has to pass a vertical line test. If it doesn't, then it is not a function. So if I'm looking here, none of the X values repeat, so I'm going to say yes here. Right here, when I do the vertical line test, there are 2 points where it intersects, so I'm saying no. Here, same thing, this is a no. Down here, the V is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Here, this is no because we have several X values that repeat. Same thing for number 6, it is not a function. Moving on, identify the domain of the function, square root of X minus 8. So square root of X looks like this. If you do a -8, it's within the function, so I'm going to move to the right 8 units. and it's going to look like this. So if I'm using interval notation, my domain is going to be from 8 to positive infinity. The next one, graph the equation of the line. If I have y equals mx plus b, remember we graph b first and then we graph the slope. So in this case, my b is just 0, so I'm going to start at 0, and then I'm going to go up 3 and right 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I can also go down 3 and left 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Connect my points. This is the graph of the line. Consider the line 5x plus 9y equals -4. What is the slope of the line perpendicular to this line? And what is the slope of the line that is parallel? So the first thing we want to do is we want to solve this for y. So if I have 5x plus 9y equals -4, first thing I'm going to do is subtract 5x from both sides. I get 9y equals -5x minus 4. And then my final step is to divide everything by 9. So I end up with y equals -5/9 x minus 4 over 9. So if the line is perpendicular, remember it's the negative reciprocal. So you're going to flip it, 9 over 5. And if it's negative, then we keep it positive. If it's positive, you make it negative. So perpendicular line is going to be 9 over 5. Parallel line is the same slope. So -5/9 would be the equation, or the slope rather, for a parallel line. It says suppose that the functions of g of x are defined as follows. So f and g are defined as followed. F of x is 5x squared plus -1, and g of x is the square root of 4x minus 3. So they want you to multiply f times g of x and then tell the domain, and then the same thing for f plus g of x. So for the first one, we're just going to say 5x squared minus 1 times the square root of 4x minus 3. Nothing you could do here. There are two different types of functions. So one thing is, okay, I know this first part is quadratic and it is squared. Remember that quadratics look like this. But this graph right here gives us a restriction. So remember, whenever with square roots, we always want whatever's underneath the square root to be either greater than or equal to 0. So I'm going to solve this. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I get 4x is greater than 3. I divide by 4, and x is greater than 3/4. So this graph will shift to the right 3/4 units. And remember, because of the restriction here, we're only focusing on the square root. My domain has to be from 3/4 to positive infinity. When I'm adding, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my two functions together. And so I have 5x squared minus 1 plus the square root of 4x minus 3. Again, we can't put anything together. We leave it like this, and the same restriction applies. So our domain for this is going to be from 3/4 to positive infinity. Next one, it says find the midpoint of the line segment where C is -2, D is 8, -5. So to simplify this, remember the midpoint is just the average of the x's and y's. So I'm going to have for my points, -2 plus 8 divided by 2, and then 5 plus a -5 divided by 2. So -2 plus 8 is 6 divided by 2, 5 minus 5. Sorry, we did -5 minus 5. Because I'm doing, let me label, makes life a little bit easier, make sure we're all good. So I did -2 plus 8, and then a -5 plus 5 over 2, and so here we get 0 over 2. So our midpoint is going to be 6 divided by 2, which is 3, 0 divided by 2, which is 0. So the midpoint will be at 3, 0, roughly about there, which makes sense, right? Halfway between 2 points. Finding x and y intercepts of the line, click on none if applicable. So it does intersect the x-axis at 1, so I do have an x-intercept at 1, 0. I don't have a y-intercept because it doesn't cross the y-axis, so I'm going to say none for the y-intercept. Last but not least, what is the slope of the line that's perpendicular and parallel to this line right here? So it's already solved for y, but it's not in slope-intercept form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch things around. I'm going to put the -3/4 x here and then -9. So if I'm finding a slope that is perpendicular, remember I'm going to flip the slope, which is 4 over 3, and then this is negative, so the perpendicular is going to be positive. For a parallel line, -3/4. All right, that's all I got for you. Happy studying. I will see you next class. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to